Yes.
There was positive slope and the second one was negative slope, but the values were not, so how we said that it will become the constant slope?
Where? This location 2.
Sir, it equals to
Yes.
from 0 to 1.
Yes. 0 to 1.
0 to 2.
Hmm.
0 to 2 in the answer it is the constant slope line. And the first one was positive slope and the second graph was the negative slope.
Right.
But the values were different because the first graph was starting from -1 and second was starting from 0. So how you figure out that it will be the constant slope at 1?
No, first one, what you are saying?
The superposition of first, second and third became the third one graph which is of constant slope. So I am not able to understand that how it came the constant slope.
Where? This 1 to this 0 to 2.
Yes, sir.
Just look at 0 location. At 0 location, if you have been thinking, right? 1 minus 0, right? At 0 location, if you are right. After that,
after that I am not understanding how it came with the constant.
if we have been thinking, let us consider this is it is t is equals to 1. So let us consider it is 1. After 1 you are having the confusion.
No, sir. After 0 I am having confusion that how from 0 to 2 every location is having 1.
No, it is constant because these two are the subtraction. Let us consider addition, but it is one negative, one positive.
That I am understanding that one is negative, one is positive. But we don't know the values.
If one signal is, let us consider, I am just taking the graph, y is equals to mx, right? So if you draw this signal, so how it looks like? It is y, it is your x. So how it looks like? 0. If you have been considering 0, 0. If you have been considering m is equals to 1, let us consider this m is equals to 1, y is equals to x. So 1, 1, right? So that one will be like this in the middle, right? Now let us consider same way another signal is there. Where to draw? Yes. Let us consider this one. Y is equals to x minus 1. Let us consider. Sorry, x plus 1 according to this. Okay. So if we plot this one, yes. Right. So if we plot this one, it is your y, it is your x. So let us take some values for this. Let us take some values for this. So one is y, x and y. Let us take. Okay. So if we take x equals to 0, y is equals to 1, right? If you take x equals to minus 1, y is equals to 0, right? So if we plot like this, at 0 y is 1, at minus 1 this is right according to this, right? This plot is right. So if we go into x, now let us consider what is the value. I'm just trying to find out. If we have been taking t is equals to 1 for this case at this location, let us consider. So if you take this is as 1, so obviously at x equals to 1 y will take the value of 2, right? So if we consider this position, so it will having the value of 2. Right? Now it is clear. This is your 1. Confusion clear? Understood? Now you can do this E part. Okay. So let us take some signals with respect to discrete time signal. Some discrete time signal let us consider. Till now we have been dealing with all the continuous time signal. Let us deal with a discrete time signal. So some xn has been given. It is 8. Now let me take another page. This 8. It is given the xn something like that. I am just drawing that xn. This is your xn. It is given 1. This is 1. It is 0, 2, 3, 4, something like this. Then again minus 1. It is minus 2. It is minus 3. And minus 4. Now this one, this x at one location, it is having the sample something like this, same over here, so which is of amplitude of 1. Same at this location. The drawing may not be symmetrical, just try to draw a symmetrical graph in the both side. It is 2, and at 3 this kind of samples are there. Okay, rest these are 0. These are 0 sample xn, and yn is given something like this. It maintains 1 for every samples 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this x it is n. Same 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and minus 4. Okay. So first, with the signal which we need to draw, that is your x of 2n. X of 2n we need to find. So what will be that x of 2n? Yes, x of 2n. So x of 2n means a is greater than 1. So that will be compression, right? That will be compression, isn't it? So this will be, because here the factor a is greater than 1, so it means it is compression, right? So what will be our x of 2n? Which samples will there in x of 2n? So if we have been thinking we are having the samples, let us consider for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So let us first decide the location. So the positions where we are having 2, so if we do the division with this 2 divided by 2, so that integer value we need to take, right? So if you take 2 and divide with those locations, so where we are getting the integer value of that result of that division, that location we need to consider, right? So first one will be your 2. So first location will be your 2. Here also it will be 2. So these samples we need to take. It is 2, right? Any other samples are there? Yes, there may be some samples 4, 5, 6, right? But those are 0 value, so we no need to consider, right? Why we are not considering 1 and 3? Because if you do the compression, this 1 and 3 will give you some fractional result, so we need to consider only some integer value. Fine. Now let us consider this x of,
So
yes,
sir,
right, tell me.
to level this 2 and -2 as 1 and -1?
Why?
Because we are changing the time scale. After compressing, the signal will become shortened.
Right.
So that's why the time.
Sorry. This one will be 1. This one will be 1. This one will be 1. Yes, that was the wrong. This one will be 1, but the location, the sample will be taken from that location. This one will be 1, right? This is compression, so obviously this one will become -1 and 1 for this x of 2n, right? Fine. 3n minus 1. So another signal which is having 3n minus 1. So it is having both scaling and time shifting. So first, according to precedence rule, we need to do the time shift. Okay, so if you do the time shifting of this, so it will go one location in the right hand side. This xn will go one location in the right hand side. So obviously this one will start from -2, right? This one will start from -2. Fine, getting or not? So this sample which is having the amplitude of 3, it will start from -2, so it will go up to 4. After that we need to do the compression, right? So if it is going to 2, so we can't take that simple, because if we divide with this 3, so obviously that will not result into an integer value, right? Getting or not? So where we should start?
Sir, we can take 0.
Right, obviously we will take 0. So 0 location will have the sample amplitude of which one? This 0 location, when it will be time shifted, so obviously this 0 location will have this sample over there, right? So this resultant signal will looks like something like this. So 0, it is having this sample -1 sample will come to 0 location, then directly this 3, right? So after time shifting, this 3 location sample will change with this amplitude level of 2, right? So this one, so should I need to write the intermediate one? So let us draw this one first. So it will go to 0, then it will become 0. Sorry, this one will 0, so it will be the position of 1. Then I am just starting with this -1. So if we go to 1, -1 will be having the amplitude of this 2, right? Then -2 will having the amplitude of 3. This one will be amplitude of 3, right? This one is amplitude of 2. So 1 will be having 0, then 2 will be having 2 will be having, sorry, 2 will be having this 1, 2 will be having 1, this is 2, then 3 will be having 2, then 4 will be having finally this 3, right? It is 2, it is 1, it is 0, it is -1, it is, sorry, it is 1, it is not -1, it is 1, it is +2, it is +3, like this. So which is this signal? It is x of n minus 1, this pulse. So previously it was from -3 to 3, now it will go from -2 to 4. Next we need to do the compression, that is scaling factor a is greater than 1, so compression. So we need to take those locations which will result into integer value, right? So -2 and -1, obviously it will produce fractional, so we can take this origin. So this one will be x of 3n minus 1 finally. So we'll take this position 0 where the amplitude will be 1, then directly this 3. So we need to take this location 1, so which will having the amplitude level of 2. Fine, it is having the amplitude level of 2. So we are having only 0 and 1 location for this compressed and time shifted signal. Okay, C number y of, yes
सर वहाँ पे 3n-1 है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल 103n का ग्राफ प्लॉट करने के बाद ना
नहीं, तुमने क्लास कब से स्टार्ट किया? पहले फर्स्ट क्लास वो सब किए थे?
नहीं सर।
हाँ, तो अगर ऐसा कुछ सिग्नल हुआ जहाँ पे ये 3n मतलब कि n के साथ कुछ मल्टीप्लाइड है और माइनस और प्लस कुछ है, तो पहले हम लोग माइनस वाला करेंगे। ये नॉर्मल मैथमेटिक्स का रूल यहाँ पे नहीं होगा, ठीक है? तुम वो वाला क्लास देख लेना एक बार, वो इसको कहते हैं प्रेसिडेंस रूल। सो इफ टाइम स्केलिंग एंड शिफ्टिंग बोथ आर अप्लाइड ऑन अ सिग्नल, सो फर्स्ट वी नीड टू गो विथ टाइम शिफ्टिंग, देन द रिजल्टेंट सिग्नल विल डू द स्केलिंग ऑन दैट सिग्नल। ओके, तुम वो प्रीवियस क्लास
मैथ में जो फंक्शन में हम लोग करते थे वैसा कुछ
नहीं, दैट विल बी नॉट लाइक दिस फॉर दिस सिग्नल। So let us draw for y of 1 minus n. So how it will looks like? Y of 1 minus n. So how can we take? Just suggest anyone.
Sir, it will shift the graph and then give me the remaining.
हाँ.
First we'll shift the graph to
Left.
because it is +1 and then we'll take the mirror image because it is minus.
Everyone agree?
Yes, minus common element.
No, that will not be applied. So first we need to take one position in the left hand side, then simply flipping, right? Plus will goes to minus when minus will come to plus, right? So if it is your yn, sorry, what I have drawn for this yn, sorry, this yn is wrong. That one will be, this yn is wrong. Yn is something like this. This 1, 2, 3, 4. -1, -2, -3, -4. So these are the negative side. It's -1. So yn is like this. Okay. So first let us shift this one location to left hand side this way. Okay. So it will go up to -5, right? So this y of, let us take this intermediate signal, that is so it will start from -5, then -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, then it is 2, then it is 3, like this. So this one will -0 location will come to an amplitude of 1, right? So this one will be 1, this one will be 0, it is -1, -1, so all of them are -1, like this. So this one will be 1, 1 and 1. Fine. Now we need to take the y of -n, right? So this final signal, the final signal, that is y of 1 minus n, will be, this one will goes to in the right hand side. Okay. So that will flip around the origin. So if you go with 0, it is 1, it is 2, 3, 4, 5. That one will be minus 1, it is minus 2, it is minus 3. Okay, so this one is 0 is having 1. This is the first sample. Then minus 1, like this, minus 1, it is like this, it is plus 1. Fine. Any doubt? Any doubt to this? Yes, yes.
y of 1 minus n सर आपने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड जो था इनिशियली वो ऊपर से नीचे क्यों किया एम्पलीट्यूड को
y of minus n. So what is this y of minus n? Reflection. याद आया?
पॉजिटिव साइड को रिफ्लेक्शन होना चाहिए सर.
कहाँ पे?
ग्रेटर देन 0 के लिए.
हाँ, दिस साइड.
हाँ सर.
हाँ बोलो.
इस साइड में तो होना चाहिए सर रिफ्लेक्शन.
तो रिफ्लेक्शन कैसे होगा? y of minus n. If you have been taking y of n, so y of minus n. So what does it mean? X of 1 will become x of minus 1. X of 2 will become x of minus 2. Fine.
Okay.
So you just go with some problems I'm just giving you. Y of 2 minus 2s n, then x of 3 minus n into yn, then f is x of minus n y of minus n. We just go and try to solve. So next let us start with some another kind of problem. Some x of minus n into y of minus n. So a system is given. Let's consider it is. Let us take question number 9. A system is given. I'm just drawing the system. So this is the system which contains several subsystems, that is H1, H2, H3 and H4. So this is so they have been asking to find the operator H relating xt to yt for the following subsystem operators. So you need to find out the H, the overall operator H for the subsystems which have been connecting or which are relating this xt and yt for the following subsystem operator. Let us consider they have been given the relation between this subsystem. This H1 is relating y1t. Obviously from H1 you are getting the output of y1t. It is given as x1t into x1 of t minus 1. H2, this subsystem which is relating this yt and x2t y3 h3 which is taking y3t is equals to 1 plus twice of x3t, and h4 cos of x4t. So you need to find out all those subsystems So what will be the overall output of the system? Sorry, this is not plus, it is minus. This one is minus. So what will be the overall output if you have been considering this yt? This yt is y1t plus y2t minus of y4t, right? This is our overall output, right? So if you write with respect to this y1, y2 and y4 over there, so with respect to xt, how we can write this? Yt is equals to x1t, x1 of t minus 1 plus mod of xt, sorry it is x2t minus of cos x4t, x4 of t, right? So we need to define this x1, x2, x3 or x4 with respect to xt, this xt, then only we can able to define the relation between yt and xt. So they are been asking to find the operator, H relating xt to yt for the following subsystem operators, for the following subsystem operators. So which are those following? These are the following subsystem operators, all of them. Okay, so we need to find out the operator H relating xt and yt for the following subsystem operators. So these are the subsystem operators within this total system. So we need to find out the relation between yt and xt which is exist due to the overall operator H. So we need to find out the overall operator H over here, right? So first of all, our task is to define this x1, x2, x3 and x4 with respect to this xt. Fine. So from the diagram itself, if you have been looking at this initial position, this x1, x2 and x3, it is directly our xt, right? So what we can write, this xt, it is same as x1t, x2t and x3t, But what about our x4t? This x4t, it is x4. What about our x4t? It is same as our y3t, right? So x4t, it is same as our y3 of t. Fine. So what is our y3t? It is 1 plus 2 of x3t, isn't it? So what we can write for this y3t? 1 plus 2 of x3t. So our x3t, again our xt. So our x4t, finally 1 plus 2 of xt. So it is our x4t. So this is the condition about x1, x2, x3, and this is about our x4, right? So we can replace this yt with respect to xt, something like this. Our yt will become xt x of t minus 1 plus mod of xt minus cos of 1 plus twice of xt, right? So what is our h over here? So this is the overall relation between our yt and xt. So we can say this is the relation which exists due to all those subsystems in the system, in this system, that is h1, h2, h3 and h4. This is our final relation, yt and xt. Clear? So nothing else, we need to identify what is the condition about this input and output. According to that, we need to establish the relation between this yt and xt. So this is our desired relation between yt and xt. Very easy. Okay, clear?
So can you please explain the first condition?
Which one? These are the conditions which are given in the this problem only. So they have been saying, yes,
x is equal to x1 of t, x2 is equal to
this part.
Yes.
So just look at this initial location. Some xt has been given. So this xt is been taken to this h1, h2 and h3 directly. Just look at this location. This xt is been going here. It has been dividing. Then it has been coming. So we can say this xt itself is there, which has been connected directly h1, h2 and h3. So that's why I have written xt is directly same as x1t, x2t and x3t.
Oh, it's not a part of everything.
No. It is given directly. So if we have been connecting xt over here, xt over here, xt over the same thing. Okay. So that is what it says, that it is same as xt. But x4t at this location, it is the output of this h3t. So this is the condition of this output y3t. That's why it has been changed. Fine. So next kind of problem, some system have been given. We need to find out either it is memoryless, some xt or xn, some xt or xn is given, and some yt or yn is given. We need to find out, or we need to identify whether first one, they are memoryless. Just try to remember what is the characteristics of a memoryless system. Then stable, third one is causal, fourth one is linear, fifth one is time invariant. Just try to remember memoryless system, stable system, causal system, something like this. So what is a memoryless system or a system which is having memory? So how we have been categorizing that? So a system, if it is having the memory, so its output depends upon past or future values. Its output depends upon past or future values of the input, right? If it is memoryless, then the output is completely depending upon the present input. So the time at which we have been providing the input, the system is been producing the output. So memoryless means present. The time at which we are giving the input, the output is there. So if it is depending upon past and future, then it is memory. Then stable system. Come on. So input bounded, output is also bounded. If bounded input is in BIBO system, bounded input, bounded output. If bounded input has been given, the system should produce bounded output, right? So the input should be between some signal and some infinite value. Input should have some infinite value. So accordingly, output should also be, sorry, finite value. Input should be some finite value. So output should also produce, the output which is been produced from the system should have the finite value. Then causal system, causality.
The output should depend upon the past, present,
right?
Only past value of
past and present, doesn't depends upon future value. If it is depending on future values, then it is a non-causal system. Only past and, right? Next, linearity property. So before that, let us discuss what is time invariance. First, what we have been doing, the input has been time shifted. We are checking the output. Next, output has been time shifted. Then we have been comparing between these two output. If these two output are same, then we have been saying that our system is time invariant. So some system is there. First we have been connecting and time shifted input. So output, correspondingly output will be there. Next, some input has been given. Let us consider at present time some input has been given, output has been collected from the system, then that output has been time shifted. So for these two cases, the output will be compared. If these two output are same, then we can say it is a time invariant system. Then linearity. So two characteristics or two conditions needs to be satisfied by the system. One is superposition and another is homogeneity, right? One is superposition, one is homogeneity. So let us consider some input has been given at different time instant. Let us consider x1t and x2t. A different input has been given. So correspondingly output will be there, y1t and y2t. Now altogether this x1 and x2 is been given, that is x1t plus x2t is given. So output will be y1t and y2t. If these two are same, that is if we have been taking previously y1t and y2t isolatedly and doing the summation, next time when altogether x1t plus x2t is been given and collected output y1t plus y2t is been there. So if doing this comparison between these two, if these two are same, then we can say it maintains a superposition condition. And homogeneity, when input has been scaled by some factor, output should also be scaled by the same factor. Okay, so this is a little brush up about the memories whatever we have been learned last classes. So let us check for a simple system, that is yt is cos of xt. So come on, speak out whether it is a memoryless system. Memoryless, first one should be memoryless. second one is stable, third one is causal, fourth one is linear, and fifth one is time invariant. I'm just writing as TI. So is it memoryless? Yt is equals to x cos of xt.
Yes, sir.
Memoryless because it doesn't depend upon past or future values. It is depending upon only on the present values. So it is memoryless. Stable,
Yes, sir.
right? Stable. Causal, so causal means present and past, doesn't depends upon any future values. Linear,
Sir, but it is not depending upon past values. How can we see this concept?
so it is depending upon past or present. Find out about the linearity. Linear. So first provide some input x1t. So let us consider if we have been giving x1t for linearity property, if we have been giving x1t, so output will be there. So y1t is there, cos of x1t, right? So x2t, the output will be there, y2t is equals to cos of x2t, right? Now altogether let us provide x1t and x2t plus x2t. So the output which we have been considering, let us consider it is prime, so that will be cos of x1t plus x2t. So this is our output y prime t. For this case let us consider it is y double prime t. What will be this? The summation of these two, y1t plus y2t. So what is our y1t? Cos of x1t plus cos of x2t. So whether this y2 prime and y1 prime are same? No?
No, sir.
So it is not a linear system. Now let us take another condition, that is, what was the another condition? One is superposition, another condition was homogeneity, right? So let us do the scaling for the xt. Let us do the scaling for the xt. So let us consider this x prime t is 2 of xt. Let us consider, right? So due to that, the output which we have been expecting, y prime t is cos of 2 of xt. So whether this scaling factor will also available at the output? Getting or not? We are doing the scaling, or we have been introducing some factor at the input. So whether this input will have that same scaling factor at the output? Say yes or no. So it is not at all a linear system. So these two conditions are not satisfied. So let us check for the fifth, time invariant.
Yes, sir.
It is time invariant. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is memoryless system, stable system, causal system, but not a linear system, and as well as time invariant. So how we are checking for time invariance? First, input is time shifted. For time invariance, some input has been x prime t is time shifted. So let us consider t minus t naught. So the output which we have been expecting for this case y prime t is cos of x of t minus t naught, right? So we are getting some output. from this y prime t. Next, for the second case y prime t, the output itself is time shifted, that is y of t minus t naught cos of xt. So whether we need to compare between this y prime t and y double prime t. So if we are doing the comparison between this, so it is not is equals to y double prime t. Fine. So it is not a time invariant system. So you just take some examples, just try to solve, just write it down. Yn, okay, within 2 minutes I'll just completing. You just write it down. Yn 2 of xn un c yn log base 10 mod of xn yt integration minus infinite to t by 2 x tau d tau. Okay.